Hey guys, welcome to Juicy Tea, where I read out the best stories on Reddit, so you don't have to. The funny, the shocking, the satisfyingly juicy. Today we're looking back at your favourite Am I the Devil stories from this year. Am I the a-hole? Was I wrong to go into my daughter's house? Post by Adventurous Desk 960. My daughter was on holiday last week with her daughter. While they're away, my husband and I went into her house to do a few jobs that needed doing, like cleaning her oven and tidying up the garden. We didn't tell her we were going, as we knew she'd tell us not to. Okay, so 2 sentences in, and you're already obviously the one in the wrong. You broke into her house to clean while she was away? That's super weird. Bet OP was really just there to snoop, and was using cleaning as her excuse. The oven really needed cleaning? Really? Anyway, we got a few things done and left, and when my daughter got home, she told me her back door was unlocked and asked if we'd been in the house. We said no, and she didn't believe us, but didn't press. I've now had an angry text from her saying she's noticed the oven has magically cleaned itself, and some things were taken from the garden, so either she was burgled or we lied about going to her house and leaving the door unlocked. We feel bad about the risk of the door, that was silly of us. But we're not happy about her kicking off at us and saying that we were snooping as well. What should we do? Well, maybe apologise for a start, quit breaking into her home to snoop? So, you've admitted to breaking into her house while she's away, when you knew she wouldn't be okay with it. You left the door unlocked, leaving her home vulnerable to break-ins while she's away. You lied when she directly asked you if you'd broken in. And now you're playing the victim because she's upset by what you did? Yes, you are very obviously in the wrong. And the fact that she called you out for snooping just confirms that you were. Why else would you sneak into a house, really? Bets on how many times OP has violated her daughter's privacy before. I accidentally saw my girlfriend's bank account while withdrawing cash from the ATM and found out that she is rolling in dough. How can I forgive her and not feel like she took advantage of me? Post by deleted. I, 24 male, have been going out with my girlfriend, Jane, 25 female, for 3 years now. We met in college and things have been going great up until now. Jane's in medical school while I'm working full time. After college, I moved to be with her. I like the city we're in, but the only problem is that it's extremely expensive. It's been hard for me to save any money here because rent, food, transportation and taxes are all so high. Jane knows I've had a hard time saving because I've been very vocal about it. I even made it my New Year's resolution. Anyways, for the past 3 years, I've been covering virtually all of our shared expenses. We don't live together, but we've been going out to eat on dates at least once a week. Let me tell you, the food and drink adds up. One cocktail alone is the cost of an entree in most cities. Jane always offers to split, but I've always shut her down because I work full time and she's in medical school. The only times I've ever let her pay is when it's been my birthday, or if I've paid for a big dinner and told her that she could cover the drinks. Here's the problem. I feel like she's portrayed herself as a financially struggling medical student. She's extremely frugal and rarely buys anything for herself, including groceries. She won't do any activities or buy anything online unless it's on sale. Also, she jokes a lot with her friends about being a broke med student. Let me be clear, there's no problem at all with being frugal, especially in a costly city. However, all of the above certainly paint the impression to me that she couldn't afford to split any dinners or cover any of the tabs on our dates. Turns out, I was mistaken. When I accidentally saw her bank account at the ATM, I was shocked to see how big it was. I'd never asked her before about her finances because I don't think it's any of my business. But damn, I was a little hurt that she never paid for anything, despite having a ton of money. After talking with her, she came clean about her financial situation. She has a cash account, the one I saw, a hefty portfolio of stocks to be used later in life, and some trust accounts that are locked until she hits a certain age. She pays zero rent, zero tuition, and her only expenses are food, groceries, and Amazon. I knew that she wasn't taking out any student loans, and I knew that she came from money, but I had no idea that she was rolling in dough. My parents are wealthy too, but they gave me nothing after college, and rightly so, and my savings is tiny in comparison. So yeah, after seeing this, I feel quite heartbroken. I feel bamboozled by her. I've been busting my butt, paying for things for the past 3 years, and I really just wish that she'd made more of an effort to show me that she could have been helping out. I understand that at the end of the day, her having money is a good thing, but I can't shake the feeling that what she did was messed up. Part of me wants to break up with her, but part of me still loves her and wants to stay. What do y'all think? Okay, so at first I was like, how is her having savings a massive betrayal? Then he said he was covering all their joint expenses, and I was like, oh my god, he's been paying their rent, bills all on his own while she was just hoarding all her savings? That's so unfair. But then he goes on to say the joint expenses are actually just date costs, which she offered to split. Yeah, nah, you can't insist on paying the full bill, then get angry that she didn't pay. Look, I can understand him being hurt if she really was telling him that she was broke and needed his help, but he said that he knew that she came from money, knew that she wasn't paying tuition or taking out student loans. She wasn't hiding the fact that she had money, she just wasn't rubbing it in his face. Her being frugal and responsible with money, despite being set up, to me is a green flag. She could have been a total princess, expecting him to pay for everything, or been splurging all her family's money, but she doesn't either. OP adds in an edit, the majority of people in the comments are replying with something like, you assume something, and you didn't ask, therefore it's your fault. I'd like to remind you that each and every one of you makes assumptions on a daily basis. Whether those assumptions are justified or not is a different question. I'd like to pose a hypothetical. Suppose your partner of 3 years was cheating on you, but you never asked. Is that your fault for not asking? That's such a silly comparison. Loyalty is the default assumption in long-term relationships. If you've been dating for 3 years, you know your partner expects you to not go around hooking up with other people, even if it's not been expressly discussed. There's no default rule on how much money you can have in your account before you must show your partner. Down in the comments, someone makes a great point. Brewski, you knew she was doing med school with no loans, paying out of pocket, and you didn't suspect that she might have some hefty cash behind her? For effing med school? We're like halfway to, listen, my partner has a vacation home in Martha's Vineyard and sleeps in a diamond-encrusted duvet, but it's not like I could have known that she actually had money when she offered to split the bills. Yes, she breeds rare colours of tigers as a hobby and keeps several white elephants, and also bathes in only Perrier sparkling wine, but it's not like I could have known until I saw her bank account. Like, duh, yes, of course she lives in a castle and is a literal princess, but she always switches to a daytime tiara because it'd be too grandiose for daily wear. And she says that you only really wear the full jewels of the state on Coronation Day to save your neck health. But I didn't know that she was rich. Yeah, come on mate, this is on you. Am I the a-hole for being mad at my wife for throwing out our dishes? Post by throwaway. My wife and I have had this argument for a while where she doesn't think I rinse the dishes well enough before putting them in the dishwasher. She's brought it up several times. Apparently, the dishes aren't getting clean enough in the dishwasher for her liking, and she says she has to keep re-washing them because they've got dried food stuck to them. I have never seen her do this, and never noticed an issue when I unload the dishwasher myself, so I keep telling her that I'm not doing anything wrong. Well, she finally got sick of it and told me that if she finds any more dishes that didn't come out clean, she was going to throw them out because she's sick of re-washing them. I shrugged it off as an empty threat. She values our belongings more than that. Or so I thought. Sure enough, last night, I went to grab a butter knife and saw that we were out, even though I'd heard her unloading the dishwasher right before I walked in. I threw away a paper towel a minute later and found several of our knives in the trash. I did a quick inventory of our kitchen and found that we were low on plates and other silverware as well. When I confronted her about it, she admitted to throwing them away because they came out of the dishwasher dirty. She's been doing this all week. Our trash was collected this morning, so it was pretty much all gone, save for a couple of knives. It turned into a big argument, our biggest yet. I can't believe she'd throw our stuff like that with no thought of how much it would cost to replace them, and they weren't even damaged. She feels justified because she warned me that's what she'd do if I didn't do as she asked. So, who's the a-hole here? Edit. To add in all fairness, a little detail I forgot to include. The knives I recovered from the trash were in fact dirty. There was some black gunk in the teeth from me slicing bananas the day before. So, she was 100% correct about them being dirty. Dude, just apologize and acknowledge that you've been creating a ton of extra work for her. Promise to listen to her and take her concerns more seriously in the future. Get new silverware and rinse them properly going forward. Problem solved. So, I don't know how, but last night, I somehow found myself on the wrong side of the AmITheDevil subreddit. I spent like half the night just digging deeper and deeper into this story, and I feel like the whole of Reddit is just gaslighting me at this point. So please let me know if I'm the only person on this guy's side, or at least help me understand why he's in the wrong here. Am I the a-hole for not listening to my wife and eating the wrong cookie? Yep, I have no idea how this story turned into the most controversial post I've ever seen, but here we are. I worked a 10-hour shift yesterday and had little to eat but bubblegum and some cheap hot chocolate. I came home to a voice message from my wife saying that she'd picked up a cookie for me at the local bakery and another specific cookie for our young daughter, which she could have when she came home from school. I was overjoyed, partially because I was hungry and partially because my wife and I had been at odds lately, and I thought that perhaps this was an olive branch of sorts. I looked in the cookie box. One of the 2 cookies inside was definitely the one for my daughter, due to its description, so I ate the other one. It wasn't quite what she said it would be, but I didn't want to be picky. After dinner, my wife pours herself a glass of milk and goes into the cookie box. She mutters something under her breath, pours her milk back into the jug, and flops down on the couch. I ask what's the matter, and she informs me that I never listen and that I ate her cookie. I told her that I'd only eaten the other cookie in the box that wasn't our daughter's. My wife then let me know that my cookie was separate, in a bag under the cookie box, and that I should have listened better and that she wasn't surprised. I asked her what kind of cookie I'd eaten and told her I'd go buy another one. But she refused to tell me and merely repeated that I should have known that that wasn't my cookie based on her description. So dramatic. Like, he fucked up and made a very easy mistake given the circumstances, but he's offering to go fix it by getting her another one. Why is she acting like he ransacked the house to find her secret cookie stash and then stuffed his face while cackling? The cookie I ate was white and had some brown icing on it. Apparently she'd bought me some sort of toffee chocolate chip cookie. Am I the a-hole for not paying attention and eating the wrong cookie? Or is she blowing this out of proportion? To me, brown icing could have looked like toffee, especially given he was only expecting there to be 2 cookies, and it definitely wasn't the other one. Edit. Since it's come up a few times, I thought I'd add a bit of extra information. Yes, I do have a hard time paying attention. I have ADHD, and I'm working on it. Yes, not eating all day was my fault. It was 2 days before payday, and we had nothing in the house viable for me to take. And I had about $1 worth of change in my cup holder, plus a pack of gum. I did what I could. No, she didn't mention that my cookie was separate. She told me that my cookie was in our bread bag, which is a bag where we keep our bread and other things that we want to keep bugs and mice out of. So to clarify, because some people got confused by this, the cookie box was inside the bread bag, where she said his cookie would be. She described the cookie as a toffee chocolate chip cookie, which to me could have easily been a white cookie with brown icing, which is what he ate. I looked in the bag, found the box from the bakery, and it had 2 cookies in it. One of them was decorated like the night sky and is what she said she'd purchased for our daughter. There was only one other cookie visible. No, I can't prove this, unless someone instructs me how to download voice messages from Messenger and post them here. OP also confirms in the comments that there was no allergies to explain why the cookies would be separated. So on reading this, I'm like, why did she take his cookie out of the box and then hide it underneath, and then only mention 2 cookies? It seems kind of like a trap to me, like a test to see how well he listened. At the very least, it would be a very fair misunderstanding. You were told about 2 cookies and told to not eat a specific one. You find 2 cookies, where you were told that there would be, and see the one that you were told not to eat, of course you're gonna assume that the other one is yours. How was he supposed to know about her cookie? Maybe she didn't want one, or had already eaten it. Was he just supposed to assume that she'd bought herself a cookie that she didn't mention, and then taken his cookie out of the box and hidden it underneath for no apparent reason? Like, I really want to hear her explanation for doing that. Plus, he offered to go get her a new cookie. What else was he supposed to do here? But then, all the comments are calling OP the a-hole, and going at him pretty hard too. And I mean, really going off on him. Blaming him for not eating all day, blaming him for not managing his ADHD well enough, blaming him for not listening well enough when she described the cookie. It even ended up on AmITheDevil! What is going on here? Everyone's saying that this is a last straw thing and that he's putting all the mental load on her. Which, by the way, he actually went into a lot of detail breaking down their workload when he was accused of this, and it's actually shared pretty evenly, if not more on him. Also, they have separate finances where he pays for majority of everything, but when she borrows money from him, he doesn't make her pay it back. But if he borrows money from her, she makes him pay it back with interest. Like, what the F? I wouldn't even expect a coworker or a friend to pay me back with interest, but they're literally partners and she's acting like this? I get that we're only hearing his side, but the way he wrote the post and his replying to the comments, to me, sounds like someone who's been gaslit and just wants to know if they're really the a-hole. Like, the second she says he ate her cookie, he doesn't get defensive and he immediately tries to rectify the situation. But she refuses to let him, just so she can keep sulking. So at this point, this silly little story about a husband accidentally eating the wrong cookie has me questioning my sanity. Why is everyone saying that he's the a-hole? Someone please explain this to me. OP, if next week your wife sends you a cute message saying that she's bought you a cupcake, do not trust it. Don't touch that cupcake. Yeah, I got way too invested in this story. Let's move on. My girlfriend has trust issues. How do I get her to work on this before it ruins the relationship? Post-bad throwaway. My girlfriend, 26 female, and I, 25 male, are at an impasse right now. To start off, my girlfriend and I are both co-workers. We work on different floors, but can occasionally talk to each other, and we have lunch together. It's great, and she's a fantastic girlfriend. Recently, some issues arose because another woman at work who knew I had a girlfriend decided to flirt with me and encouraged me to cheat. I immediately shut it down, and at first my girlfriend handled it maturely, but obviously didn't like the woman after that. The woman apologized and respected my boundaries. So when we were talking and she offered to teach me how to swim, I took her up on the offer. You took up the offer? From the woman who actively tried to get you to cheat? Dude, it is one thing to just act professionally and amicably in the office with this woman, but to regularly spend time off the clock with her, I'd be looking sideways at you too. We've gone twice, and I'm making progress. Somehow, my girlfriend found out. I don't know how. Okay, so you snuck around with this woman behind your girlfriend's back? She doesn't have trust issues. She literally caught you sneaking around behind her back with the woman who tried to get you to cheat. You broke the trust. And if it's so innocent, why hide it? Or did she just catch you before things got physical? Somehow my girlfriend found out, I don't know how, and she became angry and said it's inappropriate and told me to stop going with her. I told her no and gave her my list of reasons why. 1. I want to learn how to swim and I'm learning for free. 2. We're co-workers and still need to be cordial. 3. She should trust me because I'm not the type to cheat. She's still angry in the other room and I just want advice before I go talk to her. Oh my god, him listing out his reasons as if he has any legitimate argument here. Buddy, Reddit isn't gonna help you gaslight your girlfriend into thinking that she's the unreasonable one. Hey look, I can do it too. 1. Learning to swim is extremely cheap and you'll learn faster with a professional, if learning to swim is really what you're interested in here. 2. You don't need to spend alone time outside of work to be cordial with your coworkers. That is BS. 3. You've already shown that you can't be trusted by sneaking around with this woman behind your girlfriend's back. She shouldn't trust people who are untrustworthy. That isn't trust issues, that's just smart. Am I the a-hole for telling my wife I feel sorry that she is lacking intelligence after she weaponized a suggestion I made about her spending? Post by throwaway. Weaponized a suggestion? What does that even mean? My wife goes to a coffee house 2 to 3 times per week. She works from home and goes there frequently. We share a joint account and both have credit cards. She discovered this coffee house about a month ago and gets at least 2 to 3 drinks every time, plus maybe a donut or a muffin. This has really increased our discretionary spending. I'm talking $9 lattes and $6 muffins, so it's significant. I approached my wife and asked her if she could cut down on some of those expenses a bit, or maybe utilize the clubhouse at our apartment complex if she really wants to go outside. We do well financially, but I don't really like unnecessary spending. She didn't take it well and just pouted her face like a big baby and said, fine, she just won't do it anymore since I want her to lose her mind. This really annoys me. I say one thing and she takes it completely differently, making it impossible to have any kind of decent discussion with her. This time though, I didn't hold myself back from telling her something similar in tone and energy. I said, oh, I didn't realize that you were either trying to punish me or are genuinely lacking intelligence of what I said. I feel sorry for you. Of course, this annoyed her, and she asked me to say that again, and if I meant to make her feel that way. I said, you heard what I said, and if it landed badly, I'm okay with her sitting with it for now, because lately, she's been turning every discussion into an argument, and I'm no longer softening myself to be around her. She can't have a $6 muffin? I love that his reaction to her buying coffees is to demand that she reins it in. Then, when she doesn't immediately roll over and say, yes sir, whatever you say sir, he tells her she genuinely lacks intelligence. But she's always the one turning every discussion into an argument. This guy lacks self-awareness, and the awareness of his impending divorce that she is definitely planning. Also, what's the bet that he likes to buy some discretionary items too? There's nothing wrong with that obviously, since they're doing well financially. They should both have some money for fun discretionary spending. Like, maybe they should split out an equal amount that they can each spend however they like each week. Then she can buy her lattes and muffins in peace. I remember seeing a similar post where the guy was having a go at his wife for buying coffees, getting her nails done, etc., saying that women just spend so much more than men. Then she made him do the math. Apparently he never realized how much having a hobby car costed. Am I the a-hole for cleaning poopy water with my girlfriend's towel? Post by The Poopy Water. My girlfriend and I live with 2 roommates in a house with 2 bathrooms. The girls use the upstairs and the guys use the downstairs. On Friday, I took a normal single wipe poop in the downstairs toilet. I flushed, poop and water vanished, no weird sounds, all seemed fine. About 30 minutes later, just before leaving for work, I came back and saw that 2/3 of the bathroom floor was covered in clean water. I'm sorry, clean water? You're seriously calling water that came out of the toilet clean? The toilet wasn't actively overflowing, and I flushed again and it worked fine. Didn't even have to plunge. I panicked and grabbed 2 of my towels to soak up the water. It wasn't enough, so I ran upstairs and grabbed 2 of my girlfriend's body towels to finish the job. The water was clear, no floaters, no toilet paper. I assumed it was mostly clean water, with maybe slight contamination. I tossed all 4 towels in the cement basement and left for work. Right after work, we went to visit family for the weekend and didn't return until Sunday night. Oh my god, he left the towels drenched in poopy water all weekend in the basement? My plan was to clean the towels when we got back. Bleach, washer, dryer, and sun. I truly didn't think they'd be ruined. When we returned, my girlfriend went to shower and asked where her towels were. I explained the situation, apologised immediately for using her towels, and offered to buy new ones. I admitted I should have used the beach towel that was hanging up, but I didn't see it and I was acting fast. She got very upset and said the towels were ruined by the poopy water and could not be cleaned. I again explained that the water was mostly clear, maybe 20% poopy water at the worst. If 20% of the water is poopy, it is not clean. This guy's idea of what clean water is baffles me. If I gave him a cup of water that only 20% had come from the toilet, you reckon he'd drink it and insist it's clean? She argued the poop must have touched the water, therefore it's ruined. She kept repeating things like, I don't know why anyone would do this, and I'm so confused why he did X. So I kept trying to explain. But when I answered, she'd accuse me of being defensive. She also misquoted me several times, saying that I claimed the water was 0% dirty and that the situation was chill, when I clearly said 20% at worst, and it was hectic. He's literally referred to the water as clean in this post. Context: she's usually fine with washing and reusing dirty things. This is different. This is someone's poop. She doesn't want to rub those towels all over her clean body. No matter how many times you wash them, they're always going to be the poop towels to her. We went through the cycle like 7 times. I kept apologizing and agreed that I made the wrong call. But she still ended the argument angry and told me that I should use the towels myself if I thought they were fine. I said I would. She insisted I post this on Reddit, saying the whole world would agree with her and that it's black and white. Personally, I feel like my actions are understandable. I'm now washing the towels at 1 AM, sleeping on the couch and feeling emotionally drained. This guy is doubling down hard in the comments. Like, everyone agrees you're the a-hole, so she was clearly right. Reddit has spoken. Also, when someone called out OP in the comments for leaving his girlfriend with no towels for a shower, OP said that she does have other towels, they're just not as nice. So, he conveniently left out the post the fact that he could have used those towels for the poopy water, but instead chose to use her nice ones. Would World War III balance out dating globally? Posted by Strange Muscle 2479. This might get a lot of hate, depending on your views. Long story short, I used to drive for Uber and pick up hundreds and hundreds of people. I picked up multiple different older guys and girls too. Somehow, one way or the other, the conversation would always lead to them talking about how my old man served in World War II, ended up finding a gorgeous woman from XYZ country, or got married right away at home since all the men were dying/gone. Now, to clarify, I don't want World War III to start. But if it were to happen and had the same damage as World War II, with the younger male population down, would it basically fix/restore dating? Especially for dating as a younger man myself. What do you guys think? Are you saying you need World War III to break out just to get a date? Gee, I wonder why you're struggling. My dad and I had a long road trip, and I told him all about how dating in the US just sucks right now. He even said, your generation really needs a good war. I think he's right. A lot of guys my generation just smoke, drink, and play video games all day. And if a war were to happen, maybe it would help with my generation's outlook on life. Yes, nothing helps boost morale like a war. But of course, a war is nothing to be proud about or to hope for. My question is, would dating become how it used to be, even with social media influence? Wow, just wow. If it takes millions of deaths for you to get laid, maybe you're the problem. Do these guys literally think that no one under the age of 30 is dating, getting married, having children, etc.? Cause they are. Just go outside and see. Am I the a-hole for not paying for my girlfriend's haircut? Posted by Such Management 4619. Hi everyone, my girlfriend, 32 female, and I, 38 male, have been together for about 2 years. I lost my job about 3 months into our relationship. During this time, she really came through for me and helped me out a lot. I didn't have a car, so she'd help me deliver orders on DoorDash and Grubhub so that I could pay my bills. She also covered the difference out of her pocket if I was running short. To say I'm grateful to her is an understatement. I finally found a new job 2 months ago. I'm saving up for a car, so she's been letting me borrow hers. She accrued some debt while I was unemployed, and I've repaid about half of that. However, I'm now worried that she's starting to only want me for my money. What? We got into an argument over the weekend because she called to ask me if she could borrow some money for a haircut. Apparently she was running short due to a home repair cost, but had already paid the hairdresser a deposit that she'd have to forfeit if she rescheduled. I had had a long day at work and was exhausted, both mentally and physically. So when I noticed that my phone was ringing, I was really excited to see her name. But after I answered, she immediately asked me for money. I felt crushed because she did it without even asking how my day was first. I told her that I guess I understand my new role in her life now, and she threw a huge fit about it. She claims that she gave me her everything for a year and a half just to keep a roof over my head, and that she's accrued debt from when I wasn't working, so I shouldn't be opposed to doing her a favour. This isn't a favour! You owe her that money, dude! I recently bought her car a new set of tyres and got the brake pads replaced, as well as gave her some money to repay the debts with. I've also paid for the registration and insurance since I started working, because I have it in my place more than she does at hers, while I save up to buy my own car. So it's not like I don't contribute to her expenses already. Buddy, you're the one using her car. You're the one whose expenses were paid with that debt. You should be paying those costs. I think this guy is just so used to having a sugar mama that being expected to cover his own expenses feels like exploitation. She's taking advantage of me! She keeps guilt tripping me because a haircut is a small ask considering everything I've done for you, which feels very controlling. Now she won't talk to me, and I'm scared she's gonna break up with me without even hearing me out. I hated taking her money when I was jobless, and that I have to use her car now. I didn't want to do it in the first place. But anytime I needed her to pay for something, it was because it was an important expense, like my rent or power. So the way she's asking me for something so unnecessary like a haircut just feels like a slap in the face. Am I the a-hole? Yeah, dude, how rude of her. Lends you thousands of dollars to keep you off the streets, then has the audacity to ask for a couple bucks for a haircut? What a bitch. Edit. She didn't talk to me for 3 days, and then she dumped me. Am I the a-hole for telling our friends that my ex is a gold digger? Post by deleted. My ex and I broke up a few months ago. She makes double what I do, $120k to my $55k a year. Ah yes, classic gold digger. She's very frugal, and I'm more relaxed with money. We split things 50-50 with dates, but she always complained that I never treated her, which I didn't because she makes more. She also has a lot of savings and a fully funded 401k and Roth. A year into our relationship, she bought a new car with cash, so she doesn't need to fleece me for money or be so stingy. I have a few thousand in savings and some credit card debt, which I'm paying off, but that was from when I was out of work. We dated for 2 years and had been trying to move in together for a while, but it never worked out because she refused to pay more. She works from home, so she can live anywhere. I, however, have to live somewhere near work as I'm on call several weeks every few months and they expect me to be at work within 30 minutes. I work near downtown, so it's a bit more expensive in rent. She refused to pay more than half on rent because it was near my work and therefore more expensive. I currently live with 3 roommates and my current rent is near the max of what I can afford. If I move in to be with her, then I have to pay more than I do now and more than I can afford. She splits it with her roommates and claims it's not fair that I make her pay more than what she does currently. This issue was a long-standing one and one that never went away. And then she broke up with me, basically telling me that I don't make enough for her to effectively have an equal relationship with. I was devastated because I make less than all my friends and family, and it makes me feel like my manhood is being called into question. I work an essential job, and I feel like I'm being judged because I don't make enough, even though the work I do is important for society. So I've been telling my friends that she broke up with me because she's a gold digger, because she cared too much about what I made. I don't care that it was a crass thing to do. She should have valued me more than just what I made. Some of our mutual friends told her, and she made an ING post calling me out, saying that I'm a jerk for calling her a gold digger, when she made more than me and the relationship ended because I expected her to pay more than me in rent. I don't think that was the main issue. It was that she didn't value me beyond what I made. Down in the comments, Not the Real Neil says, you have to have gold to worry about gold diggers. Yeah, it's one of the few perks of being broke. Don't take that from us. She's obviously not a gold digger. She was literally dating a guy that earned half what she did. So yeah, I'd agree. He's the a-hole for lying about her. But I don't really think he's the a-hole for the breakup. It sounds like their life goals just weren't compatible. She's clearly created a life where her expenses are low and income is high. She lightly values financial freedom, and by being frugal and having a high-paying job, she's clearly sacrificed for that. It makes sense why she wouldn't see a future with a guy who not only doesn't have the same goals, but also impacts her ability to reach her own. He, on the other hand, doesn't want to live frugally, and chose a career that he values over money. Neither of these things are a bad thing, or make him the a-hole. He's not less of a man because of it. But if either of them caved and gave up their life goals for the other, they'd just end up resenting each other. So yeah, they're just not compatible. And that's okay. Don't spread lies about her though. Is my wife trying to scam me for a house? Post by deleted. I'm 26 and my wife is 27. We've been married for about a year now and together for 5 years. My wife has had a higher paying job than me, $105k per year, since before we started dating, and she'd already started saving up for a house. I graduated college and got a better job after, $72k per year, after which we had multiple arguments about me helping her save for a house together, as she wanted me to put half my paycheck every 2 weeks into savings. I had no interest in buying a house, and she said that my name wouldn't go into the house if I didn't contribute. She's been saving for 4 years, but has been able to save and live a normal life at the same time. She makes more than me, so half her paycheck won't adversely affect her at all. She wanted me to save up about 50k in 2 years, later dropped to 20k, to go towards the house. I wasn't able to save that, as living is tough, and I had to pay for some of the marriage milestones by myself, and she paid for 50% of everything else. She's never stolen from me, and is usually trustworthy. After many arguments, we decided that we would buy a house together, and that I wanted my name on the house. We had an agreement that we would try to find a house for 100k, so that we could buy it with cash. We looked around the general area, but couldn't find anything for her price point. We then came to the conclusion that we would have to get a mortgage, as there was no other choice. No homes could be bought with cash unless a housing crash happened. She wanted to put the 100k down as a down payment for the house, and then let me pay for the rest of the mortgage payments by myself, while she paid the utilities. Ooh, bad idea for her. If they separated, that might give him more leverage on the house, since he paid for the mortgage, and she didn't, even if they overall contributed the same amount. We were buying a house for 250k, and that was the deal that she wanted to do for the house. After another round of arguments, she agreed to save an additional 25k to put on the house, so there'd only be 125k left. She put her name on the mortgage loan along with mine, so that she could put the 100k down herself, as she didn't want to gift me the 100k directly at the closing table. She didn't trust me with the money, thinking that I'd run away to Panama City to spend her money. Oh my god. So her name's on the debt anyway, despite her contributing her half already? And he's mad that she's involved at all and didn't just hand him 125k? She's told me for 2 years that the money I'm saving on rent should pay down the mortgage. As mentioned before, she realised that buying a house with cash was unrealistic and expected me to pay the remainder of the mortgage payments by myself. I only saved about $800 in these 2 years, after having to drain my savings multiple times. Am I getting scammed here? He doesn't mention what keeps draining his savings, or what the marriage milestone expenses were, so the sleuths in the comments went through his history, and apparently, he spends a lot on in-game skins and DLC content. But most likely, he has a gambling problem, which is the reason that she didn't trust him to not run off and spend her money in Panama City. So, to the actual question. If she put 125k capital down, and he pays a 125k mortgage, plus interest because he didn't pay up front, then they're both going halves. Plus, she's paying 100% of the utilities on top of. No, he's not getting scammed. He's lucky she agreed to even put her name on the mortgage and didn't just go tenants in common to protect herself if he did run off. Basically, she's liable for his debt and he can get access to her equity if they split. I can't even understand from what angle he thinks he's the one being scammed here. My 25 female, boyfriend 24 male, just broke up with me after he said that he'll try and work things out with me. How can I get him to try? Post by throwaway. I'm hurt and depressed. I've been with my boyfriend for about 2 years now. During that time, he's been amazing. I mean, the best boyfriend anyone could have had. We both have good careers for our age and take care of each other. Even though he's not my type, I love him very much. Oh, how very generous of you. Last month, I made the worst decision of my life and slept with his friend. Oh my god, you cheated with his friend? Okay, let's see how she tries to justify this. I'm disgusted by my actions and have never cheated before. I've always found his friend extremely attractive and his friend added me on Instagram. He started messaging me and somehow this escalated to us hooking up. He ended up telling another guy in the friend group and that guy ratted us out. Ah yes, the true villain here. The friend who gave her boyfriend the heads up. When my boyfriend found out, he was hurt. He asked me if it was true, and I admitted it. This caused him to doubt our entire relationship, even though I've never cheated before. After a week of space, he agreed to try work things out. Well, today he tells me he can't get over it. He said it hurts too much and he's losing himself. He said it's not just the cheating, but who he was with, and he feels emasculated. He broke up with me. I figured we could at least try some counselling first, but he just wants to break up, and that hurts. I want him to at least give it a month because he promised, and it won't get better overnight. This literally started with, I'm hurt and depressed. Sorry, who cheated on who? She's actually mad at him for breaking his promise, but what about the promise to, not F his best friend? Anyways, that's it for today, guys. Thanks for watching. If you haven't yet, please like and subscribe. Have an amazing rest of your day. Bye!